All right, I have a short presentation, which I thought would be good to share with other faculty, even if you're not in psychology. I'm in the psychology department of National University. We've been training therapists for the last 50 years in our Master of Counseling program. And the question became, could we do this online? It's been a question we had for many, many years. And for a long time, our faculty felt it could not be done. And then we started to look at technology because, interestingly enough, the question was there, or the demand from students. He said, we cannot drive the long distances, especially around San Francisco and Los Angeles and San Diego. Our university had a model that we had many campuses across California, from north to south. So it was a non-traditional model of university. We took the campuses to the students, but more and more due to traffic, students couldn't get to class. And so for a long time, we thought, would it be possible? So our model was a traditional on-ground classroom model with 2 seminar sessions of 5 hours per week. So we then looked at what were the obstacles. And so the obstacles, of course, was finding the correct training platform. Did that exist? How would we retrain instructors to teach online? Because it's not so easy to move from an on-site modality to simply teach online, because especially since we said we can't just replicate the same model on site online, meaning long Zoom sessions of 5 hours. You can imagine that would not go down very well if we had to do that. We had questions such as, how would we maintain student contact and interaction? Would that be possible? How would we facilitate interactive role play and feedback? Because a large part of our training was about letting students do role play while we observe them, we give feedback. We would do group therapy, individual therapy, couple therapy, family therapy, and they would play these cases in class, and we would give feedback, discuss the case, and we said, well, is this possible? And incidentally, we did start, and our first platform was Blackboard, and we found it to be very inadequate. We then switched to D2L Brightspace that has built-in Zoom capability for all students and instructors, which made a last difference. So, and so here's just a summary of our solutions that for instructions, we said, well, let's record our lectures in a studio the way we would do for students in class. We would usually have a start to the session, a 5-hour session with a 45-minute lecture explanation. We would also, as instructors, record role plays to show best practice. So we would meet in our studios in San Diego, and we designed role plays, and we play it out, and we uploaded that for students. We developed quality PowerPoints with voice that the university really had a system that made it very professional. We also were able to locate and upload quality TED Talk and YouTube videos, which means it was similar to bringing speakers to class. And the interesting thing we found, we were now unlimited. We could bring any speaker in. If you were a renowned psychologist or therapist in Europe, and you made a YouTube video, we could bring that YouTube video in, and the students could look at experts in the field. So we found out that we could actually use far more of these experts than before. We also opted to have at least one live class per week of about 2 hours, which in some classes included then live role play. And in other classes, it's just a discussion of how they're doing, going over the work, showing them the highlights of the week. And then we developed interactive assignments based on very interesting case studies based on videos. And we found out that interestingly enough, that only half of students would attend the live classes if it's not mandatory. We decided to make role play classes mandatory. The other problem that we faced was, how do we maintain student contact online? So the weekly live classes helped with that, they could see us. So it's not a faceless instructor, you're there like today. We are here, we talk, we interact. We have a daily announcement section, what is happening in the class, how's people doing. The instructors also post video announcements. So they make a short video, hey class, I went over the assignment that you did on this, that, and that, and this is what I found. So it's not just an email that students, but they would get a video like this, a 5-minute video that would just talk to them. We also would regularly email students and then also schedule individual Zoom sessions with students that struggle. So early on in the class, we would identify who's struggling and we would meet with them. We would then also embed resources in the shell, such as a connection to the library, an interactive APA-style writing guide, student wellness center. And in the end, in our last poll with the student, well, interesting enough, we started with our on-ground students in the program was 150. We have now grown to 776 students. And every cohort, we enrolled 2 cohorts a year. Every cohort is now bigger than the other one. Our feedback from the students is that they prefer this modality. A small percentage, I would say about 15%, prefer a face-to-face. And after COVID, we will go back to that program for those that want to. But the vast majority of students says they prefer this modality, even if they could go to a campus. But the main thing is we have a large amount of students in rural areas in California that would never be able to access this training. And from everything that we can see, we were able to maintain the quality that we hoped we could compared to the on-site. There are things that you lose. The just informal discussions with the instructor can always take place that we had when we met face-to-face. Although a lot of students indicate that those were time wasting. They did not find a lot of the general discussions was why they were there for. So for some it's a loss, for some it's a gain. And so it was one of the, we were probably one of the universities that waited the longest to put a marriage and family therapy training program online. But we think we are on track to maintain the same quality. We are constantly making changes on that. So thank you for your time. There's my email if you would ever want to perhaps contact me about more questions, but I thought to just make this short. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask it. Otherwise, we can move on to the second presentation by Kimesha Brooks and Emily Server.